Um, Thank you everyone for joining. Welcome to Rhythm Lightning Talks. I'm Parag Katkar. I'm your host for tonight. I'm the Senior Director of Enterprise Solutions at Rhythm. So Rhythm Lightning Talks are hosted every Thursday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And each week, one of our practice area consultants share something that they have learned or implemented recently, which will help you in your learning and growth journey. And this week, Pallavi is going to talk about how Java has evolved over the years and what the future looks like. So I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on it, Pallavi. Let's get it started.
Sure. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Um, yeah. Hello everyone. This is Pallavi, and today's topic is evolving Java with changing times and future. So, over the years, many had predicted that Java was on the dying edge and would soon be replaced by other newer languages. So, the reason to think because traditionally Java had like longer release cycles, and because of that the release has become like feature driven, and moreover like smaller features were ignored by more significant features. For example, if a feature like Lambda took 2 years to ship, like small features had to wait until it gets ready. I mean, the whole package gets ready, and which got delayed for months and months. So until Java 8, the release cycle was roughly around 3 years. But from Java 9 onwards, they were shortened to like 6 months. So, like in just 2 years, Java moved from version 9 to version 11, sorry, version 14. This enabled like the smaller features to be released as soon as they are ready. So today we'll be going over like how Java has evolved from the start, and how it will be in the future. Coming to the next slide, here is an overview of the state of object-oriented programs, how Java stood out in early languages, and some talk about legacy Java, Java 8, 8 plus, and how Java plays a role in artificial intelligence and machine learning, and some of the feature applications of Java. So today we'll be going over all this. The state of object-oriented programs. So the object-oriented programs is introduced with the term object-oriented systems by David Robson in one of his magazines. So when dealing with large code bases, programmers found many improvements when the software is broken down into smaller pieces, into objects and their relationships. So the main cornerstones of this OOPS concepts like encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism stood up to the mark for Java. And most of the applications choose Java to be like a best fit for programming. So my next slide would contain couple of enterprise, I mean, applications that took Java as their primary code. So the main reason Java stood out in this all programming, I mean, all this applications is Java is like one of the most learned languages around the globe. Like still today, many developers consider it as like a best language to use for desktop applications. The reason is it was open source and rich in APIs, and it has like a stronger OOPS based concepts in it. So that's the main reason Java was chosen in this desktop, enterprise, gaming, all this kind of applications. Um, so let's talk about legacy Java. Java is like a very high level object oriented programming language, which means that while the application code is much easier to maintain, the objects that are initiated will use a lot of memory. So, like the biggest negative is the RAM utilization and having like complex code. So here it is a small rhyme which says like it will when we have a hogging RAM, when we open a task manager, it always shows Java, Java, Java. Um, let's talk about Java 8 and a couple of important features in Java 8. So Java 8 was released in 2014. That's a long time ago, but many projects are running still on Java. It's because it was a major release, and like there were like lot of new features introduced in there. So let's go over like couple of features. Like here we have displayed like Lambda expression, functional interfaces, stream APIs for each collectors. So I'll be showing you um, a small code showing all the advantages of this. Like let's take lambda expressions here. Lambda expressions in this part of code is like a short block of code which takes in parameters and returns a value. So they are like similar as a method, but they don't need a name and they can be implemented right anywhere in the body. So these are the lambda expressions, a fancier way of writing code. So next we'll see the functional interfaces. It's another good feature introduced in Java 8. So this functional interfaces um, so it says like it needs to have exactly like one abstract method in it. So we don't need to have this annotation at functional interface to say that it has one abstract method, but we actually use it for like good coding practice to make sure like we don't introduce an other abstract method inside it. So similar to like at override annotation that we use, like a best practice to use it. Um, there are other I mean important features like optionals for like having a null check, and one more important feature is streams. So streams perform all this kind of filter, map, reduce like operations and collections, and they also allow the sequential and parallel execution. So that with collections, so that's already also a good concept in streams. And we also have collections classes which provide like bunch of methods like sort, list of, also it provides a list of methods to actually accumulate a list of objects like collectors.toList. It provides a bunch of lists to add in all the collection objects. And one last feature here is like for each loop. So for each method here takes a person object as an argument and it processes that object. So it helps in actually having our business logic at a separate location than that we can reuse anytime. So for each loop is also introduced in Java 8. Let me see if I'm missing anything here. Yeah, the concurrency enhancements. So the concurrency API introduces the concept of this executor service for multi-threading. So executors are capable of managing a pool of threads. So we do not have to manually create or manage or run the task in an asynchronous fashion. So when we create a thread pool, it automatically takes care of the entire process. So these are a couple of advantages and new features of using Java 8. Let's jump into Java 8 plus. So there are like many versions. The latest version I think is 15. So these are a couple of main features after released after Java 8. So the first is switch expression, which is released in JDK 12. Let's go over the code. I have added like a small blocks showing like how it actually looks. So this is the switch statement here. So it extends switch, and it's like a fancier way and a simplified way of writing the switch statements. The cases are defined, and with this expression, we have a default method. So it's similar to the regular switch. And we also have seal classes defined in 15, Java 15, and it's defined in a preview pattern, preview feature. And this ceiling allows the ceiling keyword, it's added to the class, and this allows classes and interfaces to have like a more control over their permitted subtypes. uh, and we have text blocks, which was introduced in JDK 13. Text box is like a new kind of literal in Java languages. So the text blocks are with this. I mean, defined like a regular string, but with three kind of strings. And this text blocks contain any values. It can contain opening and closing delimiters, anything. So and also we have records which are introduced in JDK 14. So these were introduced to cover the boilerplate code that we are getting from a regular Pojo classes. Like we have to implement the equals method or a two-string method. So instead of that, if we have this record, the all the methods like equals, hash code, two-string are automatically created when we use records. And the last is a local variable type reference. I think this is introduced in Java 9 or 10. This local variable instance is like we can define a variable, and this variable is inferred by JDK. So instead of giving a standard variable, we can provide this variable and create a list out of it, create a string, any of the values. So these are a couple of Java 8 plus features. Me- Yeah, these are a couple of Java 8 plus features introduced. Um, Let me go over. Yeah. Yeah, Java 8 in machine learning and artificial intelligence. So Java is like one of the mostly common used languages that came into existence like way before Python. So it is still I mean it is still ranked among the top 5 languages for artificial intelligence and machine learning. But when compared to Python, Java didn't have like much libraries before. I mean, like Python was chosen like a best language to use for this machine learning and artificial intelligence. But over the years, like in the latest years, there are like many Java libraries that came into existence to support this. So here are like couple of libraries like Weka, Apache MyHot, Deep Learning 4J. So all these libraries are written in Java to have like support for machine learning and artificial intelligence. Um, yeah. Yeah, future Java applications. Yeah, so Java provides a numerous libraries to integrate well with this reactive functions in streaming applications. So, and also for the function as a service and serverless apps, it provides a robust functionality. So the serverless apps are the apps where the developers build and run the applications without having the overhead of managing the servers. So the servers exist in the serverless apps, but they are managed in an abstract way. So all this, I mean, Java provides a robust functionality in these applications. And this one future application, which is still developing, which is Project Valhalla. So the goal of this Project Valhalla is to bring more flexible data types to the Java language, like to have a good performance when integrating with a modern hardware. So this project actually provides two main points. One is like a flattened data types, also called value objects, and the other is like extended generics, actually to support primitive types too. So these are the two concepts which are bought by Project Valhalla. And we have another project, Project Leiden. This is to improve slow startup time. All the overhead scenarios, all the pain points are covered, like slow startup time, slowly raising of the application and all. So this is achieved by having the static images. I mean, this introduces a static image concept, which runs as a standalone program. It is derived from the application and it is run as a standalone program, which actually reduces the startup time and increases the performance. So this is one of the project in Java, which is like a future application. And the next is the conclusion. So coming to the conclusion, yeah, it says like Java is aging like a good old wine. Yeah, true. So Java has and will continue to have like a very good future. So the way it's progressing, the releases of new versions and the new features that it's accomplishing. So yeah, it will continue to be like a good language in the future too.